Hey guys, welcome back. I am back from Cuba. I had an awesome time, except that I came back with strep throat, which was not pleasant. And now I am fighting it with antibiotics, and that is most definitely not pleasant. Although I have gained an appreciation for what people go through when they have dysentery. Anyways, that's not what we're here for. We are here today to talk about some makeup. And in specific, we're going to talk about the City Kits Eye and Cheek palette from Maybelline. This one is in the shade Pink Edge. And here are the shades in here. You're getting 8 eyeshadows. There they are here. You're getting a highlighter and you're getting a blush. Now, when you look at the back of the palette here, it has some ideas on how to use it. I didn't follow that for today's eye look because it didn't make an awful lot of sense to me, just the way that they're suggesting the shades. For example, one of their looks has this like copper shade here as a transition shade, and I disagree. I disagree. I don't see that this would be an effective transition shade, at least not on my skin tones, so I did not follow their recommendations in that regard. But I have used all of the shadows with the exception of this taupe shade here for my eye look today. I do have the blush on and I do have the highlighter as well. I put these on, oh, what time is it now? It is just about 5, put them on about 11, so about 6 hours ago. And I thought I would just do a straight up review. I'm not going to bother doing a tutorial on the look that I did because it's actually really basic. But I'll walk you through what I did. So I primed my eyes with the MAC Soft Ochre Paint Pot as per usual, and then I set that, there's no color names, so I'm just going to point. I set it with this cream shade here. This palette, in my opinion, is kind of missing a transition shade. Like there's really no good tone for it. This one and this one, although they are matte, they are quite dark, and so I feel like they would be a little overwhelming for blending all of the shadows around in, so I'm not a big fan of that. So I used this pink one, which is again a shimmer sort of metallic finish, and then what did I do? I added this one into the crease to deepen it up a bit, blended in some of this deeper purple and the darker purple, and then just put just a touch of this black right in the very corner, and then I used that copper shade over the lid area and then just sort of blended everything out so that it was as smooth as possible. Let's talk about the face products really quickly. The blush I think is fantastic, although with all of these powders they are all very powdery, so the blush is no exception. For example, when you dip into it with a brush, it's going to kick up an awful lot of powder here. To me, it's not necessarily a deal breaker, but you got to make sure that you really knock off the excess. In terms of the color of it, it is quite pretty. It's a nice rose pink. It is matte. There is no sparkle in there, which I appreciate. The highlight itself, it's just kind of ho-hum. There it is there. There's a bit of an iridescence to it. Nothing too sparkly. Nothing too light catching. If you're looking for a really subtle highlight, this is your girl. But for what I prefer, didn't quite pack the impact that I wanted. And just at least looking in the viewfinder here, I don't really see it still present 6 hours later. As for the eyeshadows themselves, the mattes are a little bit better than the shimmers. For my lid with that copper shade, I went in first with my finger, found that that didn't even really pack much of a punch, so I picked it up on a flat brush and sprayed it. It's not having any babies. I sprayed it with MAC Fix Plus, and that still didn't really kick it up. So you're not getting an awful lot of payoff from the metallic shades in here. And then I found when I was blending the mattes, they all sort of muddied together, and yeah, they blend, but they blend too much. And then because the powders are so soft and so powdery and produce just so much kick up, I found that when you take like say a brush and just you know, I don't really go ham with them, but at any rate, there's powder all over the shadow below it and all into the highlight. So I don't know if it'll, yeah, you can see it there. And then there's quite a bit of excess product on the brush itself. And then if you tap, what you would normally do to tap off the excess, now there's nothing on the brush. So it's a bit of a balancing act because you have to sort of pick it up, tap just enough off that it's not going to fall all over your face, but not so much that it's not completely off the brush. Then you have to make sure to blow to get that powder off, or else all your other lighter shades are going to get contaminated. And I don't really like blowing on my eyeshadows, like, especially when I'm sick. It just kind of feels germy. So at any rate, it's problematic in that sense. So I can't say that I really recommend these. Like, I can't. I mean, the blush, like I said, the blush is fantastic, but you're not going to pay $18 just for the blush. It doesn't make sense. Like, just go and buy a blush. Because that's what this retails for, Canadian, FYI, is $18. So it's got a hefty price tag for being drugstore. Yes, you get 8 shadows and 2 face products, but it's just not worth it. And already you can see here, like, this shade has kind of crossed over into the black, and I just think the more you use it, the more that's going to happen. It's just an odd layout. So I'm not wild on how they apply. If you're looking for drugstore eyeshadows, and if you're in particular looking for Maybelline, the ones that I would recommend are the Eye Studio Quads. These ones are fantastic. I think they're about, I want to say like $8 to $9 in there for the 4 shadows, but you're getting just much higher quality pigment. They don't produce a ton of kick up. There's some of them there. This one is from a limited edition one, but this was Autumn Dream. And they just, oh, they perform beautifully. I think these are the kind that you're going to have to bring in neutrals from other palettes, which to me, personally, that does not bother me in the least. I need a makeup wipe. So, that's that. Let's zoom in, take a look at the situation going on here, keeping in mind it's 6 hours after I applied it. So, every time I film one of these where I zoom in, I'm like, it doesn't look close enough, and then I zoom it in as far as I can go, and then I watch the playback, and I'm like, holy shit, that's a lot of eyeball. So I'm gonna just bump it out just a little bit, because that should probably suffice. Anyways, okay, I need an actual mirror. So when I look at it, I don't really see any purple. Like, I really don't. Everything is kind of faded. There is a little bit of shimmer still where that copper shade is, but looking at it, it doesn't look all that coppery. I can see like glitter specks down here, like things have just sort of transferred down. That could be the highlighter. But yeah, the colors that were there are no longer. Like, you could definitely see that it was copper. Can't see that now. You could definitely see that there was purple going on. Now it's just like this amorphous gray thing. You could see definition between sort of the black into the lighter shades, and that's all sort of blended together and shifted about. So I can't recommend this palette. I really can't. So there is another palette in this series, I guess, and I don't remember the name of it. It's like City Chic or something, I don't know, but it's all like pastel colors. There's like a green and a pink and a something else. When I looked at the 2 of them in the store and was deciding which one to try out, this one I thought stood the better chance because there were some darker options in there. But after seeing how this performs, I really don't know that that pastel one stands any chance. So it's not something that I'm inclined to reach for and even really give the try to. Another thing to note with this is, yes, you're paying $18, but you're not getting any sort of brush with it. Not that I typically reach for them or like the sponge applicators, but sometimes it's a nice little addition, especially somebody who's newer to makeup. You know, purchasing what could be considered almost like a full face kind of palette where you've got the cheek products and the eye products. Just to not even have a brush in there seems a little chintzy, but be that as it may, the brush would not have saved this palette for me. So unfortunately, for my opinion, it's a pass. Anyways, guys, that is all I have for you today. I'm happy to be back. I really am. I've missed you guys. I mean, I've been checking the comments and all that kind of stuff, but, and I owe some responses to people. I really do. But I've been sick. I'm sorry. And I've been feeling quite sorry for myself. So I have been spending an awful lot of time on the couch watching The Office and playing with the kidlets. So, but from a distance, because I can't think of anything worse than a 9-month-old or a 5-year-old getting strep throat. It's no joke. Anyways, guys, that is all I have for you today. Sorry I can't say better things about it, but gotta be honest. That's just the way it is. So, thank you for taking the time to watch. I will catch you in my next video. Until then, just be a decent human being. How do we feel about that, by the way? Do I need to keep saying this? Should I stop saying it? Does it bug you? Do you like it? I don't know. Do I need a shtick? Do I need a thing? Anyways, let me know. Down below. Let me know. Does it bug you or do you like it? I am genuinely curious. Anyways, that is it. Bye-bye.